And welcome back. Maggie Blackwell is with me right now, and Maggie is with United. Several things we're going to talk about today, right?
That's right. The first we're going to talk about is the non-smoking policy. Now, we already have a non-smoking policy. It's just like the city and the county and everything. And the current one is 20 feet away from any structure. And supposedly that will be enough to prevent smoke from coming into someone's unit, but it really isn't always. So people get upset.
Yeah.
But that's the general rule as it stands now, and that's around the whole area. But we're always trying to do things a little more healthy, a little more safer, a little more carefully here. So the concern was, let's ban smoking in the village except. So this is the new proposal, and it's strict, but we have to look at both sides and see what we want to do. The new proposal says smoking and vaping is prohibited in the entirety of Laguna Woods Village, of United Laguna Woods, including common areas, but may be allowed in the following areas as long as the nuisance is not created, so it doesn't really bother somebody. So you can smoke under the new policy in the interior of units as long as no smoke escapes the unit. So you can smoke in your living room. Of course, you always could. You just have to be sure the windows are closed.
Right.
And so don't leave the screen door open and say that's a closed door, because that's not a closed door. So it has to be that way. Then it's okay to smoke in the interior of an enclosed patio, an enclosed balcony, as long as smoke is not permitted to escape. Same thing. Enclosed vehicles, so you can go out and sit in your car anywhere you want, as long as you have the windows up, as long as smoke is not permitted to escape the vehicle. So this all restricts the smoker into some things, and this is in general the trend that people want to go.
Right.
But when you look at it on the other side, see, we always have to balance both sides as directors. Be sure we're not just railroading over somebody. I was walking along a path last week, the Serpentine path, okay? And a man was 20 feet away on the bench smoking a cigar. Well, I don't like cigars, you know, so, but I didn't say anything. It was outside, you know.
Right.
And so I walked. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, I could smell it. 5, 6, 7, I couldn't smell it. So 4 steps, I could smell that cigar. So I went up and walked this way, and then I came back around the other way. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps was all that cigar bothered me. In either direction, it was hardly a breath.
Right.
And so, am I to say, because I could smell his smoke, that he has to lock himself up in his house?
Right, yeah.
You know, the question is, how bad is secondhand smoke? How intense does it have to be? Nobody seems to say. They always say secondhand smoke, and we all know if you grew up with it or you have someone living with you. But on the outside, that's why the 20-foot rule seems to be accepted. So that would be the argument for the other side. And yet, there are a lot of people in the village that have asthma, and they're very sensitive to this. And what happens is they smell it and they get frightened about it and they get upset because they don't want it around. And if you have a neighbor that's right across from you that smokes, then it will come in your house if if they open their windows. So the general trend is we probably should have this more intense policy which says only in enclosed places.
Right.
In their own places, not in any clubhouses or outside in any public places or it. So we will probably go that way, but you have to see that maybe the rule, you know, you could see that the rule really is overkill in some instances,
yeah,
but
that's true.
but if it drifts into your window, if it drifts into your dining room window or your kitchen window
Yeah.
all the time, you're not going to want it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's an
so
interesting
this
point.
is the two ways of looking at it. The other policy that will be voted on in June, in our June meeting. We had our opening vote on it and a little discussion on it before. So we have the final vote in June on that one. And the other one that we're going to vote on in June is the materials and distribution of materials and knocking on doors that I talked to you about before.
Yes.
So that one is, we're talking about this now because elections are coming up. And I'll talk more about that later. But the policy for distribution of materials is door to door is okay, unless you put your little sign out. It's up to a resident to put a little sign out. Somebody can come and knock. This can be a resident or an authorized person who's brought in by a resident can come and knock on your door for like any political party or something like that. Not for financial.
Okay.
It's
Not
not a
selling
business.
something.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no. Right. They can come and knock on your door and just ask if you want to talk about whatever it is, rivers or wildlife or something like that.
Yeah.
Then they can come and do that between 10 in the morning and dusk.
Okay.
We decided dusk was the easiest way to, rather than say 5 in the summer or 7 in the, you know. So we just said 10 and dusk. And that's reasonable, but if you put a little sign out there and you put the sign out, you select the sign yourself, no solicitation or do not disturb, then the person is not supposed to do that.
Okay.
However, they can hand you a material outside a clubhouse. I can stand outside a clubhouse, not chase you down the road, and not waving in your face.
Right.
I can just hand it to you.
All right.
And that's okay. And for the laundry rooms and other bulletin boards, I can put a little flyer, half a page, because the laundry room bulletin boards are they're less than 2 by 3, 1 inch less than 2 by 3. So we usually have 8 or 9 candidates, and then you have the dishwashers out of use signs and all of that. We don't have enough room on there for a full size, so the laundry rooms is a half a size sheet. Now there was quite a discussion about that before, because people said, I mean at this last meeting, that's been a true one for years now. Some people haven't followed it, but it has been the rule. And on the flyer, your name, the name of the person who's handing out the flyer, and the date must be on it. If I'm handing it out at the clubhouse, has to be named and dated on the bottom, and it has to be named and dated on anything I put around the laundry rooms or the bulletin boards.
Okay.
And they will be removed from the bulletin boards after the election. Other postings on bulletin boards can be club news and other things, so those are dated. Those are removed every 30 days. So that's why they need the date at the bottom.
All right, sounds good.
And they know that they're authorized and they're okay.
All right.
Any lewd material, no, don't put any.
Okay, no lewd material.
No lewd material.
All right.
All right, now we have another topic, is running for the board.
Okay.
It's like running for the bus. No, it's running for the board. And so our elections are coming up, not too soon, but soon enough. The nominations are open July 9th. So that's only about a month, 6 weeks away, something like that. And they close August 9th, so you have 1 month to decide. And we want you to start thinking about it now, because what happens if you think about it, if you don't think about it, if you sign up at the end of, nearly the end of this sign-up period, then you're not preparing yourself in the meantime to become a director. What happens is we get directors who make a last-minute decision, and they spend the whole first year learning.
Right.
And well, some people learn fast, some people don't learn fast. If it's a whole new concept for them, they have trouble.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm talking today.
Okay.
So this is the condominium blue book. You can get this at the office if you want. This is the Bible for HOAs and condos, and we refer to this constantly. A lot of rules and everything are in here. Our bylaws and our United regulations and village regulations are all on the website, and we trust that anyone running as a director would be looking on the website and reading our bylaws. I mean, it's 20 pages, 22 pages. It's not very thrilling, but it helps you if you can understand the framework that we're working from. Because we can't just make a rule out of the air. We have to say, does it agree with this? Does it agree with Roberts? Are we considering our
Yes. Yeah.
and so on. So we have to make all these decisions. The second book you should be familiar with is either one of these, the Roberts Rules of Order.
Right.
That means you can conduct yourself in a reasonable manner in a meeting, and that's good. A discussion of a proposed resolution is not a debate. The purpose is to fully consider and discuss the issue and the proposed ruling or procedures covering the issue and resolving any conflicts so that you have an enduring resolution which fits our governing documents and meets the interests and needs of United.
Right.
Because everything we do has to be for the corporation, for the betterment of the corporation, because if United is successful, we're all successful.
Right. Yeah. Very good.
So we have to be very careful how we look at things. So start thinking now, start reading now, come to a meeting, watch us on TV, whatever, so that you do
can
not
prepare,
spend the first year trying to catch up to speed. Directors always help each other, but they can't have you read all this stuff. You start reading it now, start looking at it now, look up a regulation you want. The website as it's structured now is very well set up to help any candidate.
Right. All right. Very good.
Okay.
Great to have you on here today.
All right.
I appreciate it, and if people want more information, they can find out about it if they're interested in that.
Right.
And also, as you said, if they're thinking about running, to go to some meetings and figure out, first of all, if that's right for them.
Right,
Maybe
right.
even ask other board directors, what's the commitment? What's it going to
Exactly.
be like?
Yes, the time commitment is something to consider.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Take care. We'll be right back.